Friends and learners, welcome back to another video lecture on the topic Criteria of Technology Selection, Pedagogic Requirements. In the last few videos, we have discussed about the various technologies which can be used in the teaching learning processes. But many a times teachers are confused which technology they can use in their teaching learning process. So this video lecture will help you to understand how you can select various technologies for your teaching learning purposes. We'll talk about the different factors which as a teacher you need to follow while selecting a technology or different technologies for teaching. Then we'll also talk about one of the major factors which is related to the pedagogy. So in that way, we'll discuss about the pedagogic requirements which you need to consider while selecting a particular technology or different technologies. To start with, let us in brief understand about why the technology selection is important. There are three major aspects. One is there are different pedagogies. By pedagogy, I also hope that you are well aware about what the pedagogy is. It is nothing but this is the theory and practice of teaching learning. So as a teacher, you need to understand the various pedagogies, which includes what teaching method you will select for transacting a particular content, whether you will use any teaching technique, how you will manage your classrooms, what assessment technique you will follow for making sure that your students understand the content that you are teaching in the classroom. So there are many things which comes under the pedagogy. So that's why I told it is the theory and practice of teaching learning processes. So different pedagogies, of which the different teaching methods are very important. So we have different teaching methods. Of course, we also have different teaching techniques. So what teaching method, like say for example, whether you will use lecture method, the demonstration method or any historical method, experimental method, what technology, what teaching method will you use for teaching a particular content? This is one thing. Second thing is there are different technologies. If you see the technologies in the previous lectures also we have pointed out, we have discussed about various technologies like the short messaging services, blogs, websites, e-content, graphics, animations, simulations, augmented reality, virtual reality. There is absolutely no end to that list. We have various technologies which you can use in the teaching learning processes. So this is also one of the major criteria why technology selection is important. Why? Because you cannot use QR code for teaching all the content. You cannot teach all the content using virtual reality or augmented reality. It differs from content to content, subject to subject. So this is another aspect, the availability of various technologies. Now the third is different contents. If I am a teacher of physics, there are different chapters in a physics textbook, if in different class levels. So how you will teach a particular content using technology? As I said, you cannot use same technology for teaching all the contents. We have to change from content to content, because one technology may not be suiting to all the technologies. So these are the major aspects which makes us aware about why technology selection is important in the teaching learning process. Now, when you select any technology or different technologies for teaching learning, there are couple of questions which you need to answer, which would help you to select a suitable technology for your teaching learning purpose. The first question, who are my students? as you are aware, there are different levels of education, school education, higher education, and in school education also the students are there which they start their education from the preschool days to higher secondary classrooms. So, how you will select a particular technology for a student who is there in the preschool, and how you will select a technology for a student who is studying in the higher secondary classes. So, you need to see the student's level. Second question, what content you are going to cover in the classroom? Very important, as I said, all the contents cannot be taught using the same technology. So, it differs from content to content. So, this is the second question. The third and one of the very important questions, which is the learning outcomes. We were talking about the Bloom's taxonomy couple of years back. Then the Bloom's taxonomy was revised. Now in the education, we are talking about learning outcomes. What a student will do after learning a particular content. So very important, this is another question which you need to definitely consider when you are selecting any technology. The fourth one is, what instructional strategies or approaches are you planning to use? Again, which is something related to the pedagogy, and we have already mentioned that there are different teaching methods and teaching techniques. It's not only about the teaching methods and teaching techniques, the assessment strategies are also equally important. So then how you will use a particular technology for assessing the progress of the students or learners? The next question is, what are the strengths and weaknesses of different technologies? Of course, you cannot teach all the content using the PowerPoint presentation. There are situations where we have to use podcast. There are situations where we have to use video programs. When for a teacher, if it is difficult to bring a real model to the classroom, then virtual reality, augmented realities can be thought of. And there are many such technologies. If it is the case of open and distance learning, maybe the QR codes, we can use the interactive electronic text. So technologies also have their own strengths and limitations. We also need to consider that. Now the next question is, what is the best way to present the content? Very important when we talk about the teaching learning process, it is how you will present a content in the classroom. And the very common and popular way is through the lecture method. Now since there are number of technologies, why can't the teachers make use of such technologies for bringing in, presenting the content in the classroom? Now the next is how technology will help in the presentation of the content, which is something similar to the point which we have just discussed. Which technology for what? Again, technology differs from content to content. So you also need to, as a teacher, need to consider which is the suitable technology for transacting the content that you are going to teach your students. Now, what skills are we trying to develop? Something which is related to the learning outcomes which we have discussed. Say for example, if as a science teacher, I want my students to develop the skill of taking measurements when they are in the physics or chemistry lab. So taking measurement is one such skill. How you will develop such skills among the students? There are many such skills which we need to bring in the students. So this is also very important. Then which technology will help you for that? Of course, when students use the technologies, the digital literacy skills will, of course, they will develop. But you also need to see how you will relate the content that you are going to teach and what the skill will be coming out of by teaching that particular content. Now the next question, how can technology help for the development of requisite skills? Which technology for which skill? These are related points which we have already discussed. Now what principles would you follow to design technology enabled teaching? This is also very important. The principles, there are many principles, maybe in the coming lectures we will discuss about such principles also. So friends, these are in general, in brief, the questions we need to consider when you search for using a particular technology in the teaching learning process. So if that is the case, then the questions that we have discussed broadly falls into two categories. One is something which is related to the pedagogy. Few points are related to the technology. In this video lecture, we will be discussing in detail the pedagogic requirements, the factors which are related to the pedagogy, which you need to consider when selecting a technology for transacting any content in the classroom. If you look at the screen, you can see both the technology and pedagogic characteristics or requirements. On the left side, you are seeing the pedagogic requirements, and in this lecture, we will be restricting to the pedagogic requirements only. Couple of points. One is attainment of specified learning objectives, which I have already pointed out something. Again, we will have a little more discussion about the specified learning objectives. The second pedagogic requirement is access to various learning resources, access and availability. The third is anytime, anywhere learning. The fourth one is promoting participatory learning. The next one is extending the role of a teacher. The other pedagogic requirement is desired instructional stimulus. Next one is improving motivation and stimulating and maintaining interest of the learners. And the final pedagogic requirement is about the individual differences and needs of learners. Friends, let us have a small discussion about these pedagogic requirements. The first one which I was pointing out was the learning objectives, and we have already discussed that we were following the Bloom's taxonomy, where when a teacher is teaching in a classroom, the teacher was trying to develop changes, to bring changes in three imaginative domains, which we call the cognitive, affective and psychomotor domains. And this was the task of the teacher, how she will bring in changes in these imaginative domains of a student by teaching a particular content. Later, this taxonomy was revised, which came under revised Bloom's taxonomy. Now, apart from that, since we are in the 21st century skills, there are many such skills which are definitely required for living a satisfactory life and in the 21st century. So, which we call the 21st century skills. If you look at the definition of 21st century skills, you will see many definitions. Then we also have, as I pointed out, learning outcomes. Even at the school level and higher education levels, now the learning objectives have been shifted to learning outcomes. This is nothing but what a student will do after learning a particular content. Say, for example, if it is the case of velocity in physics, by studying the concept of velocity, what the students will do after studying such a content. This has to be pointed out, has to be definitely stated by the teacher. So, when we are selecting a particular technology, we need to think of the objectives or the learning outcome. So, this is one of the major important pedagogic requirements. The second one is access. It's pretty sure that there are differences in the digital devices and application software students possess. Also, we are very well aware that there are schools and higher education institutions where technologies are not that way available. This also has to be available at the student's home. So, whatever technology that you are going to use in the classroom as a teacher, you should make sure that this technology is available at your institution, and this should be able to be, the student should be able to use this technology at their home also. Say, for example, very simple, many of the schools already have these interactive whiteboards, the LCD projectors, then the computers, but whether it is accessible to both the teachers and students. If it is not accessible, you cannot think of designing a learning experience using the technology. So, accessibility is one of the very important factors which as a teacher you need to think of, consider. The next is anywhere, anytime, especially when we are talking about the different modes of education, the face-to-face education where teachers and students are physically present in the classroom and they engage in the teaching learning activities. But this is not the case of open and distance learning or online education or blended learning, where anywhere, anytime learning is possible. Say for example, I am traveling from my office to my home, even that time also learning is possible. So learning is a 24/7 activity. So if as a teacher you are planning any technology enabled activity, you also should think of the 24/7 factor. Students access these materials when they are free, when they are ready to learn. The teachers can also expect some kind of a doubt clearing questions from the students anytime. It's not limited to the daytime, which is one of the most practiced way of teaching learning practices in the face-to-face mode, morning to evening in the educational institution. But this has crossed such a practice, and now anywhere, anytime learning is possible. So you should also think of like using a technology, whether they can access at any time. So such factor is also very important. The next one is participatory learning. I hope you are very well aware about the National Curriculum Framework 2005, where it was focusing more on participatory learning or the cooperative learning. And we call such an approach the constructivist learning approach. What was happening in the earlier days, teachers were information providers, knowledge providers. They come to the classroom, they give the lecturers, they pass on the information from the teacher to the students, and this was the practice. Now after 2005 NCF, the National Curriculum Framework, much emphasis was given to construction of knowledge. So the teacher was simply a stage setter, was a mentor, was a supporter, rapporteur. The teacher will give the teaching learning experiences. They will give only a hint to the learning experience, and students will be actively participating in the teaching learning activities. And this would help the students to develop knowledge on their own. So it is very simple that way. I would also like to give a very simple example. What was happening in the case of, say for example, if it was the concept of velocity, again the teacher was directly teaching this concept to the students. Velocity is so and so, the rate of change of speed. But now teacher will give some activity, students will come out with what velocity is about. So this is the difference, and this is possible when students are active participants of learning. And there can have synonyms to this term, the participatory learning. Collaborative learning is one such term. Cooperative learning is another term. Interactivity, then of course when they are engaged in participatory or collaborative learning, interactivity also takes place. Friends, I hope you are following what we are discussing in this lecture. The next pedagogic requirement, which is something related to the anytime, anywhere learning, extend the role of teachers. As I was saying, in the classroom, face-to-face, traditional classroom teaching learning practices, this was confined to maybe from morning to evening in the educational organizations or institutions. Now it is a 24/7 activity. And there is a shift from the knowledge provider role to the construction of knowledge. So when we are thinking of using any technology, you should think of the learning is not limited to the classroom hours, it goes beyond that. And you should also think of helping students to construct, develop knowledge on their own. So make use of such technologies. Say for example, if it is a discussion forum like the one we are using in this MOOC program, you will get some questions, you need to think of how to answer or respond to such questions. This will of course help you to develop knowledge on your own. So as a teacher, you should also think of using such technologies in the teaching learning processes. The next very important is instructional stimulus related, and you are also aware of that there are different types of learners, Say for example, the kinesthetic people, they doesn't study anything by listening to a lecture, they need to experiment everything. So this is something related to the physical activities. They do learn everything by experimenting, practicing. Kinesthetic learners are there, visual learners. Just by seeing a PowerPoint, some students understand the concept, they learn the subject. Auditory learners are also there equally. Listening a podcast or a radio program would help them to develop the subject knowledge. So there are different types of learners and friends, and this is the beauty of the classroom. In a classroom, if there are some 50-60 students, there can have students who are kinesthetic in nature, visual in nature, auditory in nature. Even there are other types of learners also. But basically, you should understand that when you are selecting any technology, you should choose technology in such a way that it will help the kinesthetic, visual and auditory learners. Even a more advanced version is the inclusive practices. I hope you have a little bit understanding about the inclusion. The students with the special needs are also sometimes now present in the classroom. So you cannot use always a PowerPoint because there can have some blind students in the classroom. So think of choosing technology in such a way that it is suiting to all the types of learners which are there in your classroom. The other very important pedagogic requirement is about motivation and interest. And this is why sometimes when we see the YouTube video programs, usually people sometimes they skip, they are not very much interested in watching video programs because this is not properly or beautifully prepared. So whenever we are using, why? Because I'm quoting this video program because this is one of the most used technologies in the teaching learning processes, video program. So bring in all kinds of magic which would help the students to watch the entire video program. This should help the students to keep involved in the learning practices rather than skipping maybe a 20, 25, 30 minutes video program. So motivation and interest is very important, which is possible in many of the technologies which we are using, like the video programs, audio programs, the latest like the the social media technologies, virtual realities, augmented realities and all. So this would help the students to keep involved in the learning processes. So this is also very important. So friends, with this we are winding up today's video lecture. In this video lecture, we have extensively talked about one of the major factors which is related to the pedagogy, which as a teacher you need to keep in mind when you are selecting any technology for your teaching learning practices in your teaching session. We will also discuss more about the factors which you need to consider in the coming video lectures. Thank you. Thank you for watching this lecture.